Some Democrats have been making the case that the solution to the problems with ICE is more training, but I'd argue another solution could probably be less training, because I'm not sure with more training there will be any ICE left. They've apparently been shooting not only American citizens in the streets, but themselves routinely while being trained to use guns in the first place. 3 federal immigration agents apparently accidentally shot themselves in the leg during routine training exercises within just 2 days last year, according to internal documents reviewed by Newsweek. A 4th incident involved an accidental taser discharge inside an immigration and customs enforcement office. Thank God they haven't been given tanks yet. But anyway, all 3 gun discharges apparently occurred as agents were holstering their weapons and resulted in them shooting themselves in the leg, non-fatally in all of the cases, thankfully. The taser was sent into a carpet as an agent was inspecting it for the first time. Okay, so here's the thing. It is possible to accidentally fire a gun. That is the unfortunate thing about guns. It's possible to do it even just when you're holstering it or unholstering it, which is why generally you want to limit that as much as possible. So when ICE is in the streets routinely just taking their gun out because someone was sassy to them from their car, that increases the risk not only of that person being shot, that has unfortunately been demonstrated in Minnesota, but then even once they go to put it back, they might shoot themselves in the nuts. So for the best interest of everybody, can they just stop drawing their gun? I would go further and say they shouldn't have guns in the first place. I pointed out recently that despite the fact that we keep being told about the threats to ICE, the only ones who evidently are shooting ICE are ICE. So protect ICE by disarming ICE. That's my strategy, Tehran. What do you think?
I think that we should all recognize the fact that you said, thank goodness they don't have tanks. That's one of the highlighted jokes of this segment and or possibly this week. That was absolutely brilliant. As a comedian, I would just like to say thank you for saying that and putting that in perspective. That was just brilliant. They are shooting themselves. The last time I heard about someone doing this was actually in the movie 8 Mile when Eminem's friend shot himself in the leg and he rapped about it. So maybe if we have an ICE agent go on stage and then talk about that before we can talk about it, they'll win this rap battle they think they are having with every immigrant in this country, illegal or not.
You know that Greg Bovino, when he doesn't think anyone is looking and rap comes on, is going full fury into that thing and 100%. Not doing it well. You know 100%. It. But anyway, here's what's interesting. So you might imagine that the people that are shooting themselves are new trainees. That's evidently not the case. Apparently, retired ICE Deputy Field Officer Director for Enforcement and Removal Operations in New York, who needs to get a much shorter title, Scott Machowski, cautioned against framing the recent incidents as evidence of slipping standards tied to DHS's hiring surge. The March discharges occurred before the most recent influx of new hires, he noted, and the officers involved were not rookies fresh from the academy. So, don't take from this that the standards are slipping, although I will remind you the standards are definitely slipping. No, take from this that even the prior standards resulted in experienced agents shooting themselves in the legs. That's not reassuring, man, not at all. That makes me super worried about all of them, not even just the new ones. And I do want to remind you that the standards are literally slipping. Secretary Noem had recently said, our recruitment efforts to hire 10,000 new ICE officers has been extremely successful. As of today, we have over 80,000 applicants for those 10,000 positions already. We've removed any of the age barriers. We no longer have a cap on how old you can be. But like if you're talking about how successful you are and then pairing it with, all those standards we used to have and used to be able to comply with, we can't do that anymore, so we got rid of them. That doesn't make it seem as if you're doing a great job. It seems as if there's something else going on that's inspiring people to want to join. It might be now that they legally can, whereas they couldn't before. It might be that they're like they find appealing the white nationalist, social media posts you're putting up, in which case I'm not sure I want them getting into the job in the first place. Or it could just be that you are showering them with unlimited quantities of money. Or according to the agents, implying that you're going to, and then you don't actually give them that much money in the end, but you're at least advertising as if you are. And by the way, is this not a lesson for conservatives more broadly? You know how they always complain, nobody wants to work anymore. We had to shut down our Jack in the Box because nobody wants to apply. Maybe pay money. Maybe if you give some money, then people will actually apply, and they probably won't even be elderly. Anyway, Tehran, any other thoughts about this?
Well, they did say they were gonna create more jobs. We just didn't realize that it was gonna be working for the Gestapo. That's the whole thing. It's kind of like the give and take of it all. I would say that Cheddar Bob apparently applied to become an ICE agent and got the job 3 different times. So
yeah,
good luck and thank you to Cheddar Bob.
By the way, it's very funny. I'd forgotten that name. So they're accidentally shooting themselves. It could be worse. I just want to remind everyone as we close this out that Kristi Noem was once doing one of her stupid cosplay things or whatever, and she was pictured with her finger on the trigger, pointing a gun at the agent next to his head. Like that could have ended really badly. Now, I'm not inspiring that, implying that she would have wanted to kill him. He was a human, not a dog, but it could still accidentally happen, and that would be a tragedy.